Is it captured? Okay, all right. Yo, so this is Rap Seminar. We're in El Paso, Texas, with the legend himself, the Sensei, Artifacts crew. Very, very monumental moment for me as a hip hop lover. You know what I mean? And I'm just grateful you came out to our city.
Hey man, look, I'm glad to be here, and thanks for the promoters for booking me last night to the show, so we can actually do this interview on the next day. Boom. This is after the show, yo.
Exactly. Sound Mind Solution brought you out, my guy Alan, and he does a lot of work, man, putting on free hip hop shows.
Right.
Last month we had Zai was here.
That's my dude. Zai is one of my favorite rappers, just like Pharoah Monch. When a dude like that spits so many, is very witty. But that's for another time. I had to say that. My man's special on the mic.
Yo, I got to build with him a little bit afterwards, and he was talking about the lyricists and everybody that I should look for, you know, and patterns. He was talking about rhyming patterns and all of those things. And so this is Rap Seminar, and I spend a lot of time analyzing lyrics, like what are people writing and stuff like that, you know. And since it's a seminar, I'm thinking about education and teachers, you know. I'm always curious to learn about who are the teachers of the legends. You know what I'm saying? Just one, to pay homage to them, and two, to know what the lineage is, you know? So I wonder that about you, like who would you say are your hip hop teachers? It doesn't have to be nobody famous that people know. It could be like your cousin or somebody, or your uncle or whatever, but who introduced you to this? Who inspired you to get into it?
Well, my hip hop upbringings in the beginning wasn't through a pen. It was through being a b-boy first. And then I got into the graffiti element, being an artist myself. I was never the dude to go out to do walls. My father wasn't trying to really hear that. I didn't have that much freedom to go and do what I wanted to do. But I was involved. I was on paper, on Black Book and everything like that, until I got old enough to be like, I'm gonna do this anyway. Rhyme-wise, at age 14, 15, my heroes, and still are, you know, it's funny when people give their top 5, everybody changed their list through the years because they wind up liking somebody else.
Or from moment to moment.
Right, so for me, my people still stand, KRS-One, Big Daddy Kane, Chuck D, Coogee Rap, I can even say Chubb Rock, Special Ed. You know, those two guys lyrically showed me how to flow a little bit more, especially Ed. I told him this when I met him. You know, it's ways that he rhymed on them first 2 albums that pretty much showed me that you didn't have to be like every rhyme goes straight, you know, line for line. And it showed me how to have a little bit more pizzazz in your rhymes. Chuck D, straight up voice, energy, big, you know, project your voice and have meaning in what he's saying. That's what he gave me. KRS was a teacher. I could actually say KRS-One for the hood that we lived in, and it's probably everywhere else too, but early on, hearing him say in songs, not to eat gelatin, not to eat Jell-O, hearing him talk, don't eat pork, you know, saying how a pig live, and you paid attention to that, like, oh wow, I probably never thought of that before. And that's what rap and hip hop does to you. It gives you information. So, you know, Pharoah Monch today for me is one of my favorite MCs. Busta Rhymes. Busta is like every rapper that you know mixed up in one, and it shows his dedication as a fan as well, to understand that you can see he paid attention to every aspect of being an MC.
He could do it all, and he even gets into his Jamaican dance hall toasting roots and all of that too.
But he don't do the songs that way. He just throw it in there lyrically, and that's enough to get people, as far as Yardie, into what he's doing. Because like they say, hip hop is generational, where it's, you know, you look at hip hop in the same way you look at reggae music when they have the clashes, just like battles with MCs.
Exactly. I was a college professor for a long time, and so many students didn't know about the roots, the Jamaican roots of hip hop, you know, and how the call and response and toasting and the DJ, that relationship between the artist and the audience is something that you could put the dance hall scene up to a hip hop scene and overlap it.
It's the same thing.
It's very similar
reggae
principles.
music and hip hop music.
Yeah.
Same thing though.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yo, what would you say that hip hop has done for you? Because I know you traveled all around the world. You have fans everywhere. You know, those are the things like that are obvious to me as just a spectator. But you're the one there doing it. You've been involved. What would you say hip hop has done for you in your life?
It taught me a lot about the world. I was a big history buff in school, so like I remember seeing books that I read in school where I get there and I'm like, oh wow, this is what I saw in the books. This is what I see now in my face. You know, going to Denmark, going to Amsterdam, going to Paris, Czech Republic, Russia, you name it. I never thought that, like doing that gives you a whole different outlook on the world. Like when it comes to hip hop, when people say, you know, in Europe they appreciate it, I'm like, nah, I was like, yo, they love it just as much as we do.
Yeah.
They prefer the 90 era sound, early 2000 era sound. It showed me that with the, not just with the internet, the world can be caught up to in a certain way where, you know, I look at everything and I equate hip hop to sports a lot.
Yeah.
So when you look at the way Europe is playing basketball now, it's here now.
Right.
It's here. These dudes are caught up to the game.
Yep.
There's no more, like when you look at the Dream Team, how they was killing everybody.
Dominating.
It's nothing like that now because these dudes have caught up, and because we showed them those ways.
Yeah.
And when you look at all the AM1 tapes, and
All
these
of
dudes
that.
was going to Europe, and it's like in the same way as hip hop. When we going over there, we are showing these dudes what it's about to say be a real MC. We going on stage doing that practice, they seeing that, and when they get to meet us, it's no different than home. These people, when we get there, you can see that it's all over their face. It's all because they don't get it on the regular like we do.
Right.
So I learned about the world in a way where it's like it's almost the same everywhere, and as far as like the hip hop level of it, because you can do a tour and go to Germany, you go to Paris, you can go to all these places I named, Japan, whatever. They all playing the same music.
Right.
Every club, you might hear this a song that you heard the night before, because this is the vibe of.
But you're in another country.
Right, right. So, and this is not home, and home don't. We spoiled at home now to all of that. Where it's like, you know, that's what it used to be like. But when you hit the world, some people are behind in their years of the world because they don't probably have the catch-up speed of the tools to use it. But it is there. And I love it because, like, you know, you get to see really who's working, who's rocking with you.
Definitely.
Rather than just in America. You could be at home, Jersey, New York, but once you start hitting them outskirts, I still want to go to Australia. I want to go to places. I want to go to Malaysia. I want to go to Thailand. The hip hop is everywhere. I found that out.
Yeah.
That is everywhere. You could be in. We've been in towns in the daytime where it's like, oh, this is not a hip hop town, and you get to the club and it's like, oh wow, like mad young cats, older cats, but it's in this town where you think it was nothing, and it's just the tunnel.
Yeah.
That night, I'm like, whoa, what the fuck is going on right now?
Yeah.
So, you know, that's the one thing hip hop taught me about the world, that is like so much more than just what we really think it is. So.
'Cause you're from New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
So to go from New Jersey to be in Denmark or whatever, you know, and then you hear people reciting your lyrics, or like last night at the show, you said you were in Asia and they know the lyrics.
Yeah, but then when you get off that stage, they can't speak English.
They don't speak English.
I was like, oh, that's some wild shit. You know, but it's dope because that just show you how much they're into it, where they practicing these songs. And actually, some of these cats learn how to speak English through the hip hop.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, you know, this is the job that I have as an artist, to expand myself to these people who only want to meet you in person. And imagine, I'm, like you said, from New Jersey, coming to these far places, Hungary, you know, we've been in, these people just want to be in your presence.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I said, me looking at books all the time, when you go to these places and you see the things you see as far as in history, you're like, whoa, damn, I didn't think hip hop would bring me here.
Right. That's crazy. I spent some time in Spain for a little bit.
Yeah, beautiful out there.
Real nice.
Barcelona.
I was in Barcelona and Sevilla too, and all that, and then I went out to Portugal and stuff. Yo, them cats know about hip hop.
Yes.
When I was there, I was sleeping on them like, I don't know what's up.
They skateboard like crazy out there
But,
too.
yo, the culture is alive out there, and and a lot of times they know more about MCs than we do, or they know more about the elements than we do.
DJs, producers, and you got to think the promoters that bring us there, they gotta know. So the promoters are friends with everybody in these towns and these cities.
There you go.
So when he's like, I'm about to bring such and such out here, and like we was in Barcelona. I've been in Barcelona a few times now. Did a show with Onyx, did a show with J. Rue the Damager, but being there and seeing these people. I met people that I did work with. A guy that did scratches on one of my records was living there. I'm like, whoa, but you from America? He's like, yeah, but I'm here now. He said, and I get to see you. I would never thought that would have happened. So,
do you think people in these other countries appreciate your era of hip hop more than we do here in the States right now?
Well, it's a thing of, in America, we are spoiled.
We're spoiled.
We are spoiled to everything that has come about, and we did that. But when you have people that are not, like, we got tourists that come to New York, they think when they land in New York and hit Manhattan, they're gonna see around and see rappers walking around like Habitat. I'm like, no, you just don't go. It ain't like that. You can go to functions, but it's like, it's a thing of you just have to like have an open mind. You never think that you were gonna go to these places and see what you see, and I never sleep on no place just because of that.
Right.
So I think that with I'm just trying to get my words together. With it. You cherish that these people actually want to bring you there.
Right.
First. You never know how the reaction going to be, but most of the time the people are just like amazed that you made it. Like, yo, I see your name on the flyer, but when we get there, it's like, for them, it's more of a treat. These people are inclined online to know, and it's because of that, people were able to keep up with it. Because they don't do radio. Like, you'll see this mainstream scene out there. You see the flyers with 50 Cent and all them come out there, but they prefer our style of music because it's the truer form, and because they still learning, and because like I know now these kids that's into the hip hop is because of either their brother, their uncle, or their father.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Point being.
What's up, baby boy?
Point being.
Sorry, your evidence.
That's how it's supposed to be, though.
Yeah, man, that's wild. Yo, I remember being out there, and I like to rap, but I'm no El Sensei. You know what I'm saying? And they were treating me like I was nice.
Right.
And I'm like, yo, maybe I am nice.
Hey, man,
you know
look,
what I mean?
never doubt yourself.
You know what I'm saying?
Never doubt yourself.
I'm out there freestyling with cats, and they was like, yo, this dude's, he's from New York.
Right. See, and they already going to give you the cosign. He's like, all right, we're going to learn from him.
And then I was like, well, I'm all right. Let me ask you another question, though. So I asked you, what has hip-hop done for you? But I also assume that living your life within the culture and traveling and I assume you've probably had to sacrifice a lot of things to do what you do. What have you had to sacrifice because of hip hop?
My job, my first job. I was working in a place called St. Michael's Hospital in Newark. Not knowing how this rap thing was gonna take off, I still kept my job while we was doing all the wrong side videos. Come on with the Get Down. I'm on the bus going to work. I worked I was an X-ray file clerk, and I had that job for like 5-6 years before I did the music. But I always wanted to do the music.
Okay.
It's just that me and Tam got an opportunity of a lifetime to go to Stretch and Barbito and get on.
Wow.
But I never knew how this all would turn out for me. Right now, I told myself that if I did do it, I was gonna go as hard as I could because I couldn't see myself going back to the hospital. I couldn't see myself going back to all the jobs I had prior to that. But I just was like, okay, Paul Mooney said something to Bill Bellamy. Bill Bellamy asked him how can he be successful being a comedian. He said, you got to marry it. And some people may not understand that term. You have to be a little selfish. you will, depending on how you move, you might miss certain things, as far as your family, whether it's school. I try not to. I haven't, fortunately, missed things like that, but you have to be dedicated in a way where you have to make your livelihood off of it.
Right.
And wrap yourself into it. And doing that, the only thing I maybe sacrificed was time. But with that, you have to just adjust. You can't let the hip hop take over your life, because it is just music still first.
Right.
You know, and I always said that, you know, I want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing, whether if I'm going on tour, because I got to leave my family. I got an autistic son that's 27, but my family, that is the only way I'm able to do this, because they help me even right now. You know, my oldest son, my mom's, you know, my son, my baby moms, we all help. In order for this to work, we all have to help.
Yeah, that's right.
So, you know, everybody gets something out of this. It's not me just going to hang out. You know, I stay home a lot. I don't really do stuff unless I really have to go out. But I can say that this has been a 30-year experience that I didn't think was going to work.
Wow.
I didn't think me and Tame would make records the way we did, but fortunately we did, because I'm able to move a way that I would like to in my own way, without somebody telling me. Hey, I don't have no manager, I don't have no booking agent. I do all of this stuff with people that I work with. I have close ties with people that's in the business, where I don't have the luxury of giving 15 to 20% to another dude.
Right.
That if you can't do things for me that I can do on my own better than what I'm doing, I'll keep doing it the way I'm doing it. I would love to have somebody pop up to me like, yo, I got this tool for you, I got this show, this feature, but I'm past that stage where, you know, people probably won't look at me like a manager would say, like, he gonna be my cash cow. Yeah, I get busy, but it's just, you know, when doing this, you have to be conscious to the fact that nothing is guaranteed, but you can guarantee it with your work ethic.
Yeah.
So most that I've lost doing this is probably, you know, a few hours of time away from my family, but I've been there for the important stuff.
Word up, man. Okay, yeah, that's important. You know, I think about the young, like, MCs who are trying to get into the game now. You know, I have a lot of people in my cipher who are real hungry, you know, and I always wonder, when I get a chance to speak with someone who's been doing it, you know, what kind of advice would you have for somebody who's just now trying to get into hip hop?
Right. I'll tell them that it ain't how it was when we came up. We had the stories, like you see all the documentaries where, like, even what we was talking about Wu-Tang, how they started. Today ain't like that. Yeah. Today is like, you know, fast, speed, get on, and these cats don't think about later. They think about today, and their way of being into it is to make bread. Right. A lot of these cats are not genuine with the hip hop culture. That's why today these artists have no culture. They have no understanding of why we get upset when they do stuff like that, or when they sound like the way they sound. Right. We just like, we not just old dudes hating on y'all. It's just like, we want y'all to understand that there's a criteria that we follow, where for us to get on, we did the most. Like, some people went up to Def Jam offices, all these label offices, bringing their demos up there and stuff like that. Fortunately, me and Tame got on a radio station, 89.9, Stretch and Bobbito show, and was able to showcase our skill rather than going to all these different labels trying to get a deal. Even when we was almost at signing the contract, we was like, here go the demo. They're like, oh no, we don't want to hear that. Wow. So today, you can control this in a way where it's like you're in charge. You don't need no booking manager sometimes with the way these kids are doing it. But the thing that's wrong is that, and this is not just advice, the whole system is twisted, where it's like, when you look at all of the artists that all these artists that came out in the 90s, they were groomed by an A&R. And an A&R would tell them, like, you could do this, and they set them up with all the producers they wanted, and all no, we ain't gonna make that decision, whatever. But today is just all do what you want. So these cats have no standards, no rules, no anything of how they supposed to do it. So when they watch Hip Hop Evolution, and when they watch you know, all these different documentaries, they like, you know, when you saw the way they did the West Coast on Hip Hop Evolution, they're like, oh, we ain't have no Grandmaster Flash, we ain't have no Cass and Kool Herc and all that. So regionally it's different for everybody, but when you look at what everybody's doing, they feel like, yeah, I don't need no advice because I'm online and we get it popping like this and we get paid off the YouTube views and all this stuff like that. And it's a different vehicle compared to when we started. Like, we really had to impress people and really go in front of people and perform. These cats ain't nobody to perform to. There's no showcase. There's no rap seminars. There's no Gavin. There's no Jack the Rap. There's nothing where they can see to prep to and prep for.
Right.
And it's really like they all out there on their own. And when they watch shows like Versus and they see the Locks battle Dipset and they wondering why is this guy spitting like that? Like, yo, this is what the best way I can explain to see that battle. That is the difference in today and how we move compared to now. Where these young cats feel like they don't need no advice, they don't need no pointers and stuff like that. But then you wonder why they just come and go. Dudes like the Locks and Dipset, even though they are able to still make Wu-Tang still make records today, right? Because they follow a formula.
And their seeds too. They got generations.
And still be nice with the songs. Where this era is picking up on it. Where they're like, you know what? Maybe we should do these things that these older dudes are telling us to do because they have no idea. Like, they just, for them, we sound like older dudes just trying to tell them what to do or hating on them. But really, it's just that we trying to show y'all, like, yo, it's a certain way you got to do this in order to think you're going to be in it 25 years later.
And it's an art at the end of the day. Like, MCing and just whatever element, it's all an art. All the little elements.
If you care, there's no care in these guys' music today and their performances. You know, when they rock over their vocals, it's like we would have to sit all these rapper dudes down in a room like with mad interrogation lights and be like, yo, like y'all doing this so wrong. But we're not trying to discourage you, but we're like, yo, if you do it like this, you know what I'm saying? And if they understand why, like, we not mad, we mad because y'all not, it's like in certain ways, and we get it. It's different now.
It is.
But in the big scheme of things, it's still the same. And it's just they're missing certain things, like having a street team, having these things will help you so much more.
They don't exist no more. Street teams and stuff.
They
like
don't want to
maybe
go outside
LA or
and
New York or something. Still,
now I'm online, bro. You see,
know,
but that person online that live all the way over there don't live in your city to come to see you perform.
Exactly.
So I try to give as much advice as I can, but I also you got to let some dudes crash and burn for them to understand, because like we did. A lot of dudes crashed and burned. So all right, let me actually really, really pay attention to what I'm doing. Today is like, which lane you want to be in. And our era dudes, we have no like, option. Is that you gonna be, accept your lane, if you ain't popping like you used to be, okay, cool. I'm gonna be over here though and eat accordingly, how I'm supposed to move. And today, it's hard to tell little dudes that your time gonna be up soon. Like, it's more than 15 minutes, but it's gonna be up soon. You gotta figure out what the hell you gonna do.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. Like, seeing people rap over their vocals. And then stop rapping, and then you just hear
they get tired.
The whole verse going.
My man was like
it's
that.
It's like, yo, what is going on? I thought we came here to see you spit, not to hear.
That's why
I can hear the song at home.
Right.
You know?
That's why it was good for I don't know if it stopped. That's why it was good for Jadakiss.
This might have turned off.
Yeah, I think the battery.
Probably a battery issue.
Yeah, it did.
Okay, all right.
So, it was always cool. It was dope to see Jadakiss say that on stage. And he was like, this is hip. And he was, the passion.
He said, why y'all rapping over your vocals?
But you heard how he was sounding. He was like, yo,
mad.
This is hip hop, nigga. We ain't supposed to have no vocals.
That's a teachable moment.
I was screaming at the TV like, yes, bro. I was like, I hope all these dudes watching right now, because these little cats think that that's the thing to do.
I stopped listening to hip hop completely in the 2000s, not to new hip hop, like commercial, like, I would just go and always just my 90s rap, and hip hop took this detour, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying all of it is bad but I just wasn't feeling it. But now, people are wanting the 90s hip-hop sound again. Like Griselda, West Side Gun and them, Rock Marcy and that whole camp. Now you got like Rome Streets, you got Stove God, Cooks, you got all these young, underground, 90s sounding How do you feel about, like, you've been doing this, like you didn't go nowhere.
Right.
How do you feel about that resurgence now? Are you like more in demand again? Like how you know what I'm saying? Are you?
Nah, I say like this. Like for me, I try to stay consistent. There's no lag time. There's no like even with music. Since 1999, this is the true fact. I've put out either a record or on somebody else's record since 1999, like consistently. Album-wise, I had the Relax Really Release came out 2002. Unusual came out 2006. But in between those times, I was still working, doing records. And even after that, 2007 and on, I was working with this group called The Returners. I did an album with my man in Belgium, my man Chillo. It's just that you have to stay busy. My sound has changed through the years through working with producers that I feel like will make me sound new today.
Yeah.
I try not to have a certain sound where it's gonna put me in a box. I work with different people, and that gives me a different outlook to other people because it's not my music. So when they hear me on other people's stuff, these are the only reason why I get features, because when people put it up and coming from where I come from, I think people probably think that you're gonna probably sound different from what you sounded in the 90s. So when we on stage and when I'm doing these records, I try to not sound, I don't know how to do that, but the way my music comes out is the way I put it out. It's not a formula, it's just the way, because when I put the records out, even me and Jake Palumbo's new album we got out right now, I'm gonna always see a comment in the review where it reminds me of old school boom bap. Like, no, that's just who I am. That's how it's gonna come out.
What it is.
I'm not trying to do something that is what everyone's doing.
This is not reminds me. This is
this is
like,
how
this is that cloth.
Nothing has changed with me that's gonna make me do the music differently than I did. The only thing I can do is adapt to make it bigger and better, and I can't have them thinking that they see me like, you probably, but when you affiliate myself with this, me and Tame set up a soundscape for ourselves to where, when people hear our music, even today, they don't feel like we sound dated. They don't feel like, they feel like, okay, you kept up with the times.
Definitely.
Where some cats, when they go to the studio today, that have been in the studio for a while, you can hear that they haven't been in the studio. The practice ain't been there. So like, a lot of dudes from my era still make records today. J. Rue the Damager, Sadat, Edo, we all rock with the newer guys too, like Torres, Kazoo.
Yep.
I rock with them because they come from that era and their music sound like mine.
Right.
So whether he working with Pete Rock, Illmind, all these different producers, those are the people I work with because I know what the younger crowd is going to. So it feel good to hear these dudes' music sound like that, because that's all we've been saying from our era is like, yo, don't go too far away from what we've been doing, because you're gonna eventually come back to it.